Hello everyone! I wanted to show off my little chicken pincushions today. And I actually named this one, this was my very first one to make, Henrietta. She turned out very large, but I still like her. And I actually filled her up with emery, which is a powdery substance that's good for keeping the needles sharp. So she's fairly heavy. So I'm definitely going to keep her, but I made a baby Henrietta, which is just quite a bit smaller than her, and I filled her up with rice. And I'm going to show you how to make her today. So she's so easy. It's a very easy and quick project. All you need is some fabric. You'll need 2 squares. And to get this size, they need to be 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches. All right. Then you'll need 1 square, 3 1/3 inch by 3 1/3. Then a little bit smaller square, 2 1/3 inch by 2 1/3. And then a really small one, which this is going to be her beak. And this is 1.5 inch by 1.5. Okay? You'll need some beads. I use glass beads for the eyes and for the toes. And this is yellow glass beads for the feet. And I picked out this beautiful metallic pink with a little fluff on the top and the little gobbler. All right? And of course you'll need thread, and you'll need the needles that have the small eye, so the glass beads will go through the needle. Okay? Alrighty, let's get started. Okay. Since I've got these fairly large flowers here on this one, I really don't want this to be her face. I want this to be her back. So what I've done, I've already marked with a pencil where I want her beak to go. Okay, so you're going to turn the fabric right sides together. Okay, just like that. Then the small square, which is the 1.5 by 1.5, you're going to, I've already pressed it, that's why you see the creases. You're going to fold it, then fold it again, and this is going to be her beak. And you're going to place it at the corner. Now, if I can find my markings, that would be great. Okay, I've got them marked right here. So you're going to be placing the beak with the beak pointing inside. Get this on camera here. Like this. About 1/3 of an inch from the top corner. Like that. Okay? And then I'm going to place this on top. Well, you know what I want to do. This is just something I like to do. A lot of people just pin it, and that's fine too, but I like to give it a quick little stitch so it'll stay in place. That's just me. So let me just put a little running stitch here. Just makes me feel a lot better that my beak will be where I want it to be. When I go to sew it. Okay. All right, now I'm going to place my other fabric. Right sides together. I hope I'm doing this right because I want those flowers. Yep, they're there. Okay. Just want those flowers to be on her bottom back side there. All right. Okay, so here's the beak. Beak is in there, right there. So what you're going to do, let's give this a quick pin. Okay, now remember the beak is right here. So you're going to sew a running stitch about 1/3 of an inch this way along the top, along the front, and then along the bottom here. And you're going to leave the back open. Okay, let's go over it one more time. This is where the beak's at, right here, where my thumb is at. So you're going to run a stitch across this way, down the front, and then across the bottom, leaving the back open. All right? Okay, let's go do that. Okay, I've sewn around the edges. Leaving that back open. And let's just turn it inside out. Use your fingers to kind of get the corners out. This chicken is so fun to make. I made my friend Carolyn one for Christmas, and here I am on my 3rd one. So, okay, perfect. There's his little beak. Alrighty. So the next thing you need to do is mark where you want his eyes, which is going to be about right here. You kind of like eyeball it. There's his beak. So let's just mark his eyes about just a little bit. Really, you can't do this wrong. Okay, do it on the other side. I just use a pencil. And what I want to do, I'm going to sew a bead. I'm going to get a glass bead, 2 of them. Get my needle here. I've already got it threaded with black thread to match my bead. And you're just going to go, you can do some bead work. This takes the longest, but it's going to be so cute and it's so worth the time. You're going to go from the inside and bring your needle. You got it knotted on the end, of course, the thread. Then you're going to get your bead. And just bring it back in. Make sure you don't catch the other side. Kind of have to work from the inside. It's not that hard to do. Okay, there's his eye. Okay, let me tie it off. Kind of flip it. I'm having so much fun making these chicken pincushions that I think everyone's going to get one for Christmas next year. Really. Or for birthdays. You can do them in all different colors. actually shapes and sizes. You see, my first one, my big Henrietta was so big, but that just makes her special. Okay. So she has one eye. Let's get the other eye. Okay, got both her eyes in. Now the next thing I'm going to work on is this little fluff on the top. Okay, so I've got my thread. I'm using pink thread, and I've got it knotted. I'm going inside the chicken, and I'm going to go to the point, push the needle to the point of her head right there, out. Okay, so let's pull that, and I'm using these beautiful, like I said earlier, metallic beads, and I'm just going to get about 10 of them on my needle. Well, like I said earlier, make sure you have a needle that the eye is so small that the bead will go over it. And this particular needle, it's not working. So I've got to go find the right needle. Hold on. Let's take this back out. Okay, actually I picked up the wrong needle. Here it is on the side over here. Got it. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. Right. It's a little tricky because you have to work inside the square, but well, I gotta get the square poked back out again. Just a second. Don't like the way that's... There it is. Want that point to be there. Okay, just push the needle. Right there. Okay. And just put about 10 beads on it. 1, oh my goodness, you have to fight to get the beads on. And there's no right or wrong way to do this. It just depends on how much fluff you want on top of the head. And then what I do, I got my little beads there, and I just bring the thread back inside along the side where I came, along the hole where I came through. Okay. And you keep doing the same thing. Go inside and put the needle, push it right beside the previous hole and just add some more beads. And this time I would add a few more because that's kind of short, so I want it to kind of flop over. So maybe 10 or 20. You can determine. You just keep adding beads and bringing it back in, looping it around. Let's do one more like this. These little beads go flying everywhere when you're trying to get them on the needle. You can hear my dogs barking outside. They're not my dogs, they're my next door neighbor dogs. They must see something. Okay, get a few more on here. Let's try a few more. Like I said, there's no right or wrong way to do this. It just depends on how much fluff, should I say, you want up there. I want a little bit more. I like mine to have a lot of fluff. I'm not even sure what that thing is called on top of a chicken. Push the needle back through the head, right beside where I came up. Make sure you're going inside, not catching it the other part of the fabric here. It's kind of tricky. Okay, starting to get a little crown there, so I'm going to continue doing this until I get it how I want it to look. Okay, I've got our little fluff done. Next thing we're going to work on is the gobbler. And you can make that as big as you want, as long as you want. You're going to make 2 little loops right underneath the beak. Can you see that? Okay. So going, let me get my thread here. Double thread your needle, knot it, and go from the inside, right. Push the needle right out under the beak. There we go. Oh, guess what I just did? I just spilled all my beads all over the table. Oh well. It's going to be fun picking all those up. Okay. So you're just going to collect enough beads till you get enough to loop. Then go back in. Then bring the needle back out again and do another loop. Bring the needle back inside, tie it off, and then you have your gobbler. Let me see if I can get this started real quick. So I can tell you how many beads. That's 4, 5, 6. 9, 11, 15. Let's see if 15 will look good. Let's see. Maybe a couple more. So let's say 17 of them. But like I said, you can make your little gobbler as long as you want. That looks good. 17. All right, just bring it back, the needle back right beside the hole that you came out of. Okay, and then do another loop right beside that one. Okay, the gobbler is all done. Isn't she cute? Okay, so the next thing we're going to work on is the feet. And what you need to do, right here where the seam is going down the straight in the back, you're just going to meet that other seam right here and just kind of like that. Go like. And this is how the chicken's going to eventually, once stuffed, the shape it's going to be. This gives you kind of an idea where to put the feet. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Like put one there and one there. And let me just show you with my baby Henrietta how I did this. From the inside out with a needle threaded with black thread, I put like, let me count these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, looks like 10 yellow beads, starting with the black one. Then I added 9 yellow beads and then tied it off inside, then came out with the needle again right beside it and did the same thing. Started with the black bead, no, that's not how I did that. My goodness, I'm getting confused here. No, I threaded the needle. There's the knot. I threaded the needle. It's been a while since I made her. I threaded the needle, put the black bead on first, and then I added the other yellow beads, and then I went inside and tied it off from the inside. That's what I did. But anyway, this is optional if you want to do the feet. I think the feet just are adorable. So let me see if I can show you how to do this without making a mess. Get all these little beads. I really need to put those in a little glass lid or something so they're not all over the place. And then these are kind of like their little nails. Okay. So I've got a needle already threaded, double threaded with a knot.